Hey y'all, my name is Ian Matchett, and the slides will be telling you that in a second. So yeah, I'm the statewide organizer with the Michigan Student Power Alliance. And so with that in mind, I'd like to first say I'm really excited to hear that some of Ford's money is going to be coming back to the state where it was made initially. We're very excited to see some of that. So in 2014, a bunch of Michigan students, yeah, play with that. A bunch of Michigan students looked around at all these other states that were doing amazing things and were like, shit's kind of fucked up in Michigan. Why aren't we doing that? Why aren't we organizing on our campuses? And there's a lot of folks in Michigan that are really down for GOTV, and there's a lot of folks who think that that's really not the way to go about systems change. So we came up with a 1-2 punch to include both of those folks in a movement. Before the election, we mobilized students around the issues, around getting out to the polls, but at the same time, we told them about and organized a mass statewide day of action to hold our legislators accountable after the fact. And it worked. We had students who were entirely skeptical of elections, folks like with labels like anarchists and communists, coming out and doing GOTV work because they really believed in the movement as a whole. And on the flip side, we had students who were all about GOTV work and maybe hadn't been to a protest in their whole lives, take the step and join the movement. Yeah, give it up to that. What we hadn't seen with this 1-2 punch was the third punch, coming from the Black Lives Matter movement, which took things further than we could have ever imagined. It moved us from a place of GOTV and on-campus organizing to a more community-centric model, where we connected with folks all across the state who came to us as we posted just articles, and we're like, what are we doing? And we built relationships with those folks, and we built our organization from something that began as very small on a few campuses to a statewide movement. And that brings us to the spring, when we brought 150 students to the state capitol, demanding a future for Michigan youth that is consistently being denied us in those halls. And we heard from folks working or fighting to defend Black lives, fighting to defend trans lives, fighting to defend working class lives, who live with sky-high tuition bills or on land that's industrially polluted, students of immigrants, or children of immigrants who grew up in fear of ICE knocking on their door in the morning. And all of these students shared the stage, and all of these students stressed that while our state is a little fucked up, we're gonna stay and we're gonna organize and we're gonna build a better Michigan. And this came just 11 months after our founding conference. So this summer, we had our second big conference. 70 folks turned out from all over the state, 3 days. We organized, we shared skills, and most importantly, we bonded, that face-to-face interaction that really builds a movement. And we've had a lot of amazing partners in this process, but to be honest, what we haven't had is a lot of financial support. Right now, we are really reaching to try to achieve a $10,000 a year budget. But what has built our movement isn't the relative lack of money that we have. It's the love and dedication of the people who are part of it. Who have put in countless volunteer hours to take what is a very cool, interesting concept that you maybe read about in a book, the Student Power Alliance model, and making it a very concrete thing in Michigan. And this dedication doesn't come just from out of the blue. This dedication comes from the fact that we are the only student organization that's organizing across campuses, across issues, and across identities in Michigan, so that we're not stuck in our own little silos trying to change the world one point at a time, but really seeing ourselves as part of that collective movement. So today, Michigan stands at a real crossroads. Communities have been fighting back, but we still have a series of, every legislative session, there's a series of bills that cut a little bit more at what we used to be as a state and what we could be as a state. And so we at the Michigan Student Power Alliance really see ourselves as building the future of our state and deciding the future of our state. While students are only a part of any movement of change, we are determined in Michigan to play our part well. Thank you.